Hey everyone, it's Debbie Jo, just popping in for this impromptu live video. I was driving, I'm in my car still, but I was driving and I had all of these thoughts that came to mind, so I didn't have anywhere to write it down and I wanted to share it, so I pulled over and this is what you get. There's a lot of them. I hope it's not all jumbled, but the main thing was, as I was driving, I was thinking about my life and me and where I'm at in life, and I can honestly say right now that I love my life. I really do love my life, and that doesn't mean that I have all the things. I don't have all the things, but what I do have is I love me. And as you always hear me say, it all begins within. That's truly what I mean. You have to go into that place within yourself and release those vibrations that are telling you the opposite of who you are and how you feel and how you should be, all of those things. But I am at a point where I can say I love me. Has it always been that way? No, it hasn't. In my childhood, I was teased at school or bullied at school. They call it bullied now. Back then I think it was just being teased by people. I was always trying to fit in. I wasn't sure of who I was. I'm guessing because, I did all the things. I was always looking out here for what might make me happy or fitting in, who I was. I didn't know myself. So yeah, like I said, I did all the things. I got myself in trouble, and I did the drinking, and I did the drugs, and I've had multiple marriages, and I'm a mom, and I've been a stepmom. I'm a stepsister. I've done counseling. I've been into all of the traditional things, whether it's traditional ways of living, living how I thought I was supposed to. I've been in church, I've been out of church, tried different churches. Seems like I was always looking for something, and as I have put in my story on in the guides in our group, I was always searching for something. And I realized now, and I realized years ago, that what I was searching for was me. So when I figured out that I needed to go within, that's been, I don't know, maybe 22 some odd years ago. And it's when I signed up to go to massage school. And I know, and we talk about on here how scary it can be to make changes, and we just get comfortable in our uncomfortableness. And at that time I was in a marriage. It was my third marriage. That was my last marriage, my third marriage, and it just wasn't going well. I didn't ever feel comfortable in the marriage. I felt like an empty shell. Basically there was no feeling whatsoever. I was just going through the motions. I had a good job, a very good job, well-paying job, would have had retirement, and but it was unfulfilling. That's the key right there. It felt like my whole life was unfulfilling, and I felt, up to that point, I felt like I was stuck or I was trapped. I wanted to make changes, but I didn't know how. I didn't know where to go to make them. My ex-husband, the husband at the time, we were in and out of counseling. I was in counseling by myself, and nothing seemed to change. Because when we went to counseling, or when I went on my own, I don't know how it is nowadays because I don't go, but you went in and you talked about what was happening. You gave them the information of what you wanted to change in your life, what was going on, and then you talked about it. And you might leave with a couple of ideas of things to try, different ways of communicating, which is great. I'm not saying counseling isn't a good thing. However, what I'm finding now with people that come to me that have tried the traditional therapies, counseling being one of them, they may get the assignment to go home and try something, and maybe 9 times out of 10, they don't follow through. But so you go in and you talk about it, and so like we talk about here is energy, and the more attention you give to something, the more the universe will answer it to give it to you. Just like the cookie example, when we create that vibration that life isn't fair, and so that energy goes out there, and the universe continues to provide us situations where life isn't fair. We don't get what we want, and so you can see, like in my marriage, I just felt unfulfilled. That was the vibration I was putting out there, was unfulfilled, walking around like an empty shell. And I couldn't do it anymore. I had to take that step. And massage school, I guess, would be the first step that I took, and it introduced me into this other world of feeling the energy and sensing the energy and that type of thing. But then I started realizing that there's more. There's so much more, and you have to go within to find it. And so in counseling, they may take you back to where you told them you think this issue started for you, if it's a memory that you can remember. But here in energy healing, and here in the journey into you, it's quite different. We go to the core of where this vibration was created. A day or two ago, I posted a testimonial from a counselor here in the city that I live in. She's a junior high counselor, and she even stated in her testimonial that, when she sees patients, it's you go in and you talk about it. And when she experienced the journey into you, I spiritually guided, she went to the core and pinpoint where this vibration was created. So I want to share just a little bit about a client I had this week, and show you a bit about how we most of the time don't even know that this vibration exists, and we wouldn't be able to tell someone really where it came from. Sometimes when clients come in, they say, oh, I've had such a traumatic childhood or a traumatic life, and I say, that it really doesn't matter. I mean, not being uncaring, I don't mean it that way. I mean, it doesn't have to be something traumatic that keeps us stuck and not moving forward and feeling unfulfilled. It can be something as simple as, again, I'll use the cookie thing. That vibration right there can change all aspects of your life. All aspects. It could be in your job. Someone got the raise that you thought that you deserved, and that isn't fair. That should have been mine. Or, friends or family that are buying houses or cars, or they're going on a vacation, whatever it may be. And that feeling of, that's not fair, why can't I ever do that? Well, because we're continuing to tell the universe to show us that life isn't fair. So anyway, back to this client, and I just want to share this so you can see how it kind of goes, it takes us on this scavenger hunt. So she came in, and I asked people not to really pick something to work on, so that we're spiritually guided. And so we started the session, and in the middle of the session, I start getting these impressions of where we're headed, the vibration word, etc. And it was the word put. She doesn't like to be put somewhere. Okay, so meaning, if she's in a job, in one part of a job, and they take her out of that and put her in a different area, like in the hospital, she leaves one area and she's put into the other. If she's put in a different job at her church, but put is the key. That is the word that it bothered her. And so as I'm working with her, and they keep hearing that, the spirit was telling me this word put. So we go back to a memory, a vibration, an emotional energy vibration, to age 5, I believe it was, age 5. And I asked her to, pay attention to what that vibration. It wasn't one specific memory. Sometimes it can be an overall time frame at that age. So I told her to pay attention to what that age felt like while I worked with Spirit to come up with the protocol, the vibration statement that we were going to use. So anyway, just skipping over all that, we'll get to what the memory was. And she, I believe she said she was, it was 5 years old. No, I'm sorry, 10 years old. And her memory that she came up with was that she was feeling like she wasn't wanted, abandoned, those type of feelings. But her memory was her parents didn't tell her they were adopting a boy, so she was going to be getting a brother, and all of a sudden they took her bedroom and put it downstairs. She said, I was put downstairs. Okay? I was put downstairs. These are her words. And it was hard for her to even say that. So in a session, I have you repeat some statements for me, and so those statements were getting difficult for her to say that. Having someone put her somewhere created an issue for her whole life. So going back to that one, then she went back to an earlier age, even when she needed to have her tonsils out. Her parents didn't tell her they were going to the hospital. They put her in the car, got her all dressed up, put her in the car. They drove to the hospital. They parked, they took her out, and they put her in the hospital. Okay? So she was put downstairs. She was put in the hospital. Anytime her jobs have changed and she got, switched to a different area, she felt like she wasn't wanted. She wasn't wanted there. They put her somewhere else. So this is kind of a long story, but all of a sudden then I start talking to her about how she felt about being put downstairs, okay? And it came up that she felt abandoned. She didn't think people were going to come, down there for her, and she couldn't sleep, okay? Now here's where it gets interesting, because this particular client has sleep issues. She won't go to bed. She finds things to do until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then she'll go to bed because she can't go to sleep. Doesn't matter if she's taking melatonin or some type of a sleeping aid, she can't go to sleep. So here we are in this session, and we find the vibration that's underlying her sleep issue. We weren't looking for that, but we found the vibration that was underlying her sleep issue. So I asked her, because her husband passed away a few years ago, and I asked her, during that time that she was married, did she have a sleep issue? And she said no. So if you think about that, she wasn't put somewhere alone. She had someone there with her. She didn't feel abandoned. She didn't feel unwanted in that scenario. Her husband passed away. Her sleep issue came back. That vibration came back. Okay? It's interesting how vibrations work. But when it was created, and even though it was created at a young age, it doesn't show up for us every single day of our life. It shows up in different situations, just like this one. So, stemming back to all the way to age 5, being put in the hospital, then being put in the hospital again, and then being put downstairs in a bedroom that she didn't know was going to happen. All those situations was taking her out of her comfortable place and placing her in a position where she felt unwanted, abandoned, and afraid. All those feelings came up. So anyway, we released that vibration, and I spoke to her. I did a follow-up call. 2 or 3 days later, I saw her, and she's sleeping. She's going to bed at a more decent hour than 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, she's 11 or 12, but she said as soon as she goes to bed, she's actually going to sleep. So she's working on getting to bed earlier. But I just wanted to throw that out there, that these vibrations, they're created in the strangest ways, but they can create challenges for us our whole life. They can change the way the direction of our life goes. But again, it all begins within. We have got to go inside. We've got to go inside. We've got to find that place where all those vibrations we came with, all the high vibrations they exist within us. And, universe, spirit, God, however you want to look at it, wants nothing more than for us to be living the life that we were created to live. Happy, joyful, peaceful, having clarity, having direction, not wandering around, like a robot, or feeling like you're unfulfilled or stuck. So take the step. As I said, for me, it was very uncomfortable. I was leaving a marriage. I was starting a new adventure, massage school. I was leaving a good paying job and the security of retirement. So whatever position you are in life, take a look within. Is there something there that you feel is missing? Generally it's you. Go within, find you. Find that pure, unique, divine being that you are sent here to be. Make the changes and start living the life that you deserve. We all do. And as I said in the beginning, I love myself. You need to find that place to love yourself too. It begins there. And from there you can love your life. You can love others in your life. The vibrations that were created in the past, once we release them, those triggers no longer show up. Yeah. When you have that vibration, it's like, I like to use analogies, but when you have a vibration, it's like, say you're in the ocean, you're standing, floating, getting out to the ocean where it's about this high, and you have a little chain around your leg, or a rope like you put on wakeboards or surfboards, and it's holding you in that place. So in the ocean you can float out this far and that far, all directions you can float, but that's as far as you can go. So when you're living with vibrations, that's as far as you can go in any situation. You react and respond from where that vibration allows you to. So releasing the vibration is like letting go of that chain or the rope or the hook that has on the board in the ocean, and now you can float as far as you want out any direction. So you have a greater awareness of the situations in your life. You have a better understanding of what's going on, and you have that opportunity to look at it and decide, is this the way you want your life to be going, or is it not? Instead of, it is going this way because this is the vibration I have and I don't know how to change it. So it makes life so much easier, so peaceful, enjoyable, and it just is. So it all begins within. Let's go within. Let's find you in there. It's not out here. The changes don't come from out here. It all begins within. Let's find you. Let's help you to see that powerful, unique, divine being that you were created to be. Let's help you learn how to love yourself so that then you can go out and help other people as well. So, thanks for listening. I know it was a little lengthy. A lot of ideas popped into my mind while I was driving. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. It is Sunday evening, a beautiful evening here, and enjoy your journey. Thank you.